Meet Maria, a hardworking single mom doing her best to make ends meet. Ever been in a grocery store, just trying to get by, when someone judges you for no reason? Well, that's where this story starts. Maria's shopping with coupons, stretching every dollar when a rude stranger mocks her. But what happens next might surprise you. Before we continue, we'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments so we can bring you more stories that hit close to home. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It keeps you in the loop for all our upcoming tales. All right, let's dive into the story. It was a busy afternoon. At the grocery store, the aisles were packed with people grabbing last-minute things. Bread, milk, cereal, the sound of carts rolling and kids chattering filled the air. Maria was there too, pushing her cart slowly. She was in her late 30s, with dark hair tied up in a loose ponytail. Her clothes were simple, a faded blue jacket and jeans. She looked tired, but her eyes were sharp, focused. In the cart sat her son, Tommy, a little 5-year-old with messy brown hair, swinging his legs happily. Maria wasn't rushing. She couldn't afford to. Every item she picked up, canned soup, a loaf of bread, some apples. She checked the price twice. Then she'd pull out a small stack of coupons from her purse, flipping through them carefully. She'd clipped them, from newspapers, printed some online. It was how she kept her budget alive. Feeding Tommy and herself was tough enough, but lately she'd been buying extra, stuff to drop off at the local shelter where she volunteered sometimes. Food prices were up, and she knew people were struggling. She was too, but she wanted to help. At the checkout line, Maria started unloading her cart. She had 2 piles, one for her and Tommy, one for the shelter. The cashier, a young guy named Ethan, nodded at her. He was in his 20s, with tired eyes and a name tag that said, Employee of the Month. Ethan didn't talk much, just scanned items quietly. Maria handed him her first coupon, 50 cents off soup. He punched it in. Then another, $1 off bread. The line moved slow, and the people behind her started shifting, impatient. That's when Linda stepped up. Linda was in her 50s, dressed fancy, a long coat, shiny boots, gold earrings that caught the light. She had a small basket with just a few things, fancy cheese, a bottle of wine, some olives. She didn't look like she worried about prices. She stood behind Maria, tapping her foot, her lips tight. Finally, she couldn't hold it in. "Really?" Linda said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Coupons? You're holding up the whole line with this nonsense." Maria froze. Her hand stopped mid-air, holding a coupon for pasta. She turned her head slowly, looking at Linda. Ethan paused too, glancing up from the scanner. Tommy stopped swinging his legs and stared. "I'm just trying to pay for my stuff," Maria said quietly. Her voice was steady, but her cheeks went a little red. Linda laughed, a sharp, mean sound. "Oh, please. If you can't afford to shop here without all that coupon garbage, maybe you shouldn't be here. Some of us have places to be." A few people in line looked away, uncomfortable. Others nodded a little, like they agreed. Maria took a deep breath. She didn't want to fight, not with Tommy watching. She turned back to Ethan and handed him the next coupon. "Sorry," she muttered, even though she didn't need to. Ethan scanned it, his jaw tight. He didn't say anything, but his hands moved faster now. Linda kept going, though. "What's all this extra stuff anyway?" she asked, leaning over to peek at Maria's cart. "You hoarding or something?" "Typical." That's when Tommy piped up, his small voice clear as day. "It's for the shelter. Mommy says they need food too." Maria smiled at him, soft and proud. "That's right, buddy." She looked at Linda, not angry, just calm. "I'm getting some things for the shelter down the street. People are hungry." Linda rolled her eyes. "Oh, how noble. A real saint. Huh? Maybe if you spent less time playing hero, you wouldn't need those coupons." The air felt heavy now. Ethan finished scanning Maria's items. $15 for her and Tommy. 20 more for the shelter stuff. Maria pulled out her wallet, counting bills and coins. She was short a few bucks. She'd misjudged the total. Her face fell, just for a second. "Can you take off the apples?" she asked Ethan quietly. Before he could, Linda snorted. "Unbelievable. Can't even pay for your little charity act. Move it along, some of us have lives." That's when Ethan spoke. His voice was low, shaky at first. "I'll cover it." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a crumpled $5 bill and slid it into the register. Maria blinked, surprised. "Ethan, you don't have to." "I want to," he cut in. He looked at Linda, then back at Maria. "I've been where you are. My mom, she used coupons too. Worked 2 jobs. We still went hungry sometimes. I get it." The line went quiet. Linda's mouth opened, then shut. Maria's eyes softened. "Thank you," she said, almost a whisper. "That means a lot." Ethan nodded, bagging her stuff fast. "The shelter's lucky to have you. I see you drop stuff off there sometimes. You're doing good." Maria smiled. A real one this time. She lifted Tommy out of the cart and took her bags. "Come on, buddy, let's go." Tommy waved at Ethan. "Thanks, mister." As Maria walked away, Linda stood there, her fancy boots, rooted to the floor. She looked at her wine and cheese, then at Ethan. "You didn't have to do that," she mumbled. Ethan shrugged, scanning her items now. "Yeah, I did. She's not the only one who's struggling. I've been sleeping in my car for 2 weeks. Lost my apartment. That $5? It's nothing to me if it helps her." Linda froze. Her face went pale, then red. She didn't say another word. She paid, grabbed her bag and left fast, her boots clicking softer this time. Maria didn't hear that part. She was already outside, loading her car, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. Not because of the money, but because someone saw her, really saw her. And back inside, Ethan kept working, quiet again, but standing a little taller. So that was the story of Maria, a mom who didn't let a mean comment stop her from doing what's right. What do you think? Ever met someone like Linda in your life? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If this story resonates with you, please hit that subscribe button. It's free for you, but it helps us a ton to keep bringing you these stories. Thanks for watching, have a good day, and we'll see you next time.